case you haven't heard of Jaahnavi Kandula's case, she was hit and killed by a Seattle police officer while she was walking through a crosswalk. He was doing 74 in a 25. It's been over a year without any news or consequences for Kevin Dave, the officer responsible, but on the 21st of February, the King County Prosecuting Attorney's Office released their official report. The verdict? A traffic violation for negligent driving. I'm going to walk through the report and try to explain the major arguments and demonstrate what they're actually saying. So they start the report by bragging about how good they are at their jobs and how serious the crisis they were responding to was. But what they leave out is the fact that Dave was headed to a call that was already being handled by the fire department, and it was barely 5 minutes away. I want to point out that at multiple points in the report, they explicitly admit that Dave's speed is what killed Jaahnavi. Analysis showed that if he slowed to even just 50 and not slowed down at all, she would have avoided the patrol car. Remember that. They also misname him twice for some reason. The major claims they stick to are 1. Jaahnavi was partially at fault for making the choice to try to run across the street. 2. Dave was responding to an emergency call and therefore his speed was justified. And 3. Maybe she had her earbuds in? They mention this multiple times despite also clearly stating that there's no way to prove it. Firstly, the call was 5 minutes away, the fire department was already there, and he knew that. Second, she was crossing through a crosswalk, and Dave was moving at 74 miles per hour, and as they admit themselves, it was impossible for him to slow down in time to not hit her at that speed. And the earbuds thing is just horse shit. The collision report done on site by Officer Wicken on site is full of lies. He writes that she was distracted, in dark clothing, and has the nerve to claim she didn't use a crosswalk. They claim that she would usually have the right of way, but since she suddenly left a curb or place of safety, it was her fault. You tell me if you would assume that a vehicle speeding towards you is doing a legal, reasonable speed, or if you would bet that someone is doing speeds that would get them pulled over on the freeway. What the King County Prosecuting Attorney's Office, SPD, and the city prosecutor are all really saying is that cops are explicitly allowed to drive at 74 miles per hour, and you have to get out of the way or pay the ultimate price. There's no excuse for driving 74 miles per hour on these streets. If lives are on the line on an overdose call, then there's absolutely no excuse for killing someone else on the way there. Kevin Dave has blood on his hands, and the city can pretend all they want, but you, me, and the people know he's just another scumbag killer cop. If this story sounds familiar to you, and maybe you've lost a loved one to police violence, let us know about it in our link at linktr.ee/seattleaarpr. Stay tuned for more because the fight isn't over.